So let's have a discussion about your pantries. Now, I have a fairly good size stockpile here. It's not perfect, but there's some things that you can do to make sure that you're rotating your stock, and so that you know that your stock is still good. One of the things you want to do is wherever you have your pantry at, you want to try and keep that in a temperature controlled environment. By that I mean it's not getting exceptionally hot and it's not getting exceptionally cold. So it's staying at a fairly decent temperature. Now I would recommend that you keep it between 50 and 75 degrees. I would not recommend it be any higher than 75 or any colder than 50. Now, the reason I say this is, especially with these type of cans, the seals can let go if the temperature increases or decreases. Okay, it causes the cans to swell and contract and swell and contract. And that's one of the reasons why your food will go bad quicker. Now, another thing that you want to look for, and this is a good example, okay, is when you get your cans, you want to look very closely at them. This can has a dent right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera very well, but if I tilt it just a little bit, you can see that small dent. That means that this can I need to use up quickly. Okay. Any cans that have dents in them or any kind of malformation of the can, you want to use those cans first, even if their expiration date is still extensively down the road. The reason for that is if you have a dented can, the food will go bad quick. Now, let's talk about this, my second shelf. On my second shelf, you'll see I have a lot of what I would consider dry goods. And as you see, I've been in here messing around today. So dry goods need to be frozen. Now, you need to freeze all of your dry goods at least a couple days. And that is to ensure that you don't get weevils or moths into your dry goods. Okay. Once you've done that, you can take them out of the freezer, bring them up to normal temperature, like with rice. You can bring it up to normal room temperature, and then you can can it, or you can just store the bags in a oxygen-free environment, and they'll be fine. Now, these, obviously, as you can see, they're open. This is my rotating stock right here. Now, this is hundreds of dollars sitting here, folks. I did not do this overnight. I did not do this in one whack. What I did was, just like Appalachian Homestead with Patera has stated, 2-3 cans extra a week, 5 cans at a time will eventually build up your stock. Now, it's just me here. So this stock that I have here will last me a good amount of time. But that being said, in order to keep it straight, I write on the outside of the can the date that it expires. Now, I do that so I can visually see it very quickly, very easily. Okay, yeah, this case here is going to expire on 2/24, right? Doesn't mean that that's actually the expiration date. That is the use by date, and that means that it will degrade after that. Okay. Now I also have my own canned up banana chips, right? So my banana chips, I dried them in my dehydrator, put them in these Mylar bags, and they're good. Yes, they have a little bit of oxygen in them, as you can see, but not enough to harm the product. I mean, um, you with the way the world is going nowadays, you need to have this. Okay, this is no longer a game. Okay, you need to have food on the shelves in case of some kind of catastrophe, whether it be a tornado, a hurricane, an earthquake, power outages, anything which would disrupt your ability to go and get food. Now, I also have freeze dried food on the top shelf. Okay. And obviously, this is not all of my stockpile, right? This is my working pantry here. So I've just had the top shelf and I decided I'll put my freeze dried up there along with things that I could use, such as first aid kits and heating pads and things that, I need to store to be able to use. Now, this right here is called a lunchbox cooker. And I made a video where I was out in my tent on Prepper Nurse One's property cooking something in it with my little solar generator, which is down here, by the way, in the box. So I know where all of my stuff is. I know in my brain what I have on the shelves and what I can use and what needs to be used. Some people make a list and they have like a spreadsheet of all the food that they have. That's great. That doesn't work for me. That's too much work. I just happen to know, hey, if I want soup, I go here, I go here, I got them right there, right? I know where my stuff is, right? And I buy things not just from one brand, though you'll see up here there's a lot of Augustin Farms. I also have nutrient survival stuff. I also have ReadyWise. I also have some Mountain House up here. I have some Backpackers Pantry. I have some Peak 2 meals. Okay. I also have down here on the bottom shelf, as you can see, I have air conditioning units that will run in the window off of my solar generator. Okay. I have my pressure canners. I have my pressure cooker. I have my hot plate. It's all down here. It's all in one spot, easy to get to, easily accessible for me. Some of the other things that I have, which you might not see because everything's in the way, I've got Crisco, right? I got Crisco back there. I've got fresh fruits and vegetables back there that have been dehydrated. Thrive Life, by the way, is another good name. All of this you're going to need to have, okay? Solar generator. Here's another little solar generator. That's my Jackery. The one down in the bottom down there, that's my Pecaron, right? Now, if all of that fails, well, then I'm going to come in here. And what I got in here is this is camping gear. Camping gear. I got extra stuff up here. I've got extra shoes. I got extra boots. I got a gas mask. I've got stuff, right? I got camping gear. Nah, I'm not going to pull them out because I don't want to get flagged, but, I have my rifles. Okay? I have an extra cot. Actually, I have 2 cots in there, which you probably can't see, but I do have 2 cots in here. I have several hiking bags, right, that I can just grab and go. Okay? I don't just talk to walk here, folks. I have everything that I need to last me at least a month, if not longer. I would say that when it comes to food, I probably got about 6 months to a year. Because, like I said, this is just my canned food pantry. It's not all of my food. Okay? I'm not going to show you everything. But I think you've been in my office. You saw a video I did before. I got books. I got books on everything. I got books on how to make breads. I got books on old recipes, camping and survival. I've got lost books. I've got herbal books. I've got the forager's guides. I've got survival manuals, right? I got how to garden books. I've got books on home repair, books on vegetable gardens, how to do plumbing, botany, how to fix just about anything, how to raise chickens, right? These are books you're going to need. So I'm going to call this on some of these prepper channels that sit there and say, well, you need this and that and the other. This here, folks, this is my canning books. Now, you're going to find that when you get into canning, you're going to have a lot of these, okay? And as you can see, this is my favorite one, but I got my own recipes. I've got the Amish recipes. I've got recipes from back in the day. You know, I got the Ball book. I got it all, right? I got the American Century cookbooks, right? I got the cookbooks from way back when. Okay? So I'm going to call on some of these prepper channels because I've noticed it. Please don't be talking about things that you have no idea what you're talking about. If you're going to live this life and you're going to try and be teaching people, please know what you're talking about first. There's too many people out here who are taking your advice that you are responsible for, that are going out there and they're trying to do this lifestyle and live this prepper lifestyle, and they're failing because you are trying to hawk this item or hawk that item. You know, people can do this slowly over time. I'm not anybody special. I'm a truck driver. That's what I do for a living. That's what I've done for a living since 2002. Okay? So when I tell you I can do it, you can do it. Okay? Because I'm not anybody special. I'm not anybody special, and yet, right, here I am, I'm hauling 50-pound bags of feed around. I'm 60 years old. I can guarantee you that picking these bags up and moving them is not an easy task. I can guarantee you that saving canisters so that I'll have flower pots ready to go so I can grow my vegetables in, it's not an easy task. I have to find space for it. I live in a very small home. I can guarantee you that replacing these deck boards was not an easy task. It took me 3 weeks to do this deck. I had no help. I did it. I had no idea what I was doing. So some of this is probably done wrong. I'll be the first to admit that. But it's functional. I had no earthly idea how to build that. Yet I did it in 2 stages. I built the first part, and then I added an extension. I had no idea how to put that swimming pool up. Yet that swimming pool is up. Right now it's drained of water because it's winter. Do not let the idea that you do not know something stop you from researching and learning that new skill. No one is going to stop you from learning but you. It might take you years to figure out how to do something. I'm not saying it's easy. I will never say it's easy. I get out here in the summertime and it's backbreaking work. Not gonna lie, it's backbreaking work to keep this cut down and to do it by myself. It is back-breaking work. And in case you're wondering, why do I have stones on my bench? It's because my bench is bowing a little bit, and the weight with the rain is leveling that back out naturally. Little trick I learned a long time ago. And yes, my house is a mess. My house will probably always be a mess. I am not the pristine housekeeper. Okay? I'm just not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that's out there in the elements doing things all day long. Do I like to sit on my butt? I think everybody will say that's a big yes. My point of this video is, with everything that's going on in the news today, we cannot afford, as women in our houses and as single people living alone, we cannot afford to rely on our governments. We have seen in the last 20 years how devastating governments can be to the local populace. We've seen that. You need to have a pantry, and you need to do it soon, because from everything that we're seeing in the news today, the likelihood, and I'm just going to say it because people don't think this is going to happen, the likelihood of the United States being attacked is extremely high. That means an attack on our home soil. I'm not talking about military bases overseas being hit, though they are being hit. And God bless the men and women in uniform. My heart is with you. I am a veteran myself. I served my time. Everybody who has served in the military knows what I'm saying when I say we do not want to see war or conflict on our home soil. Guaranteed, any kind of war, whether it be overseas or here, if we are involved in it, will hurt innocent people. That's a guarantee. Innocent people die in times of war. So I want you to look back in your history, look back to the 1930s, look at how the economy was in the 1930s, look at the way the inflation was going off the chain, and how the governments of that time took their populaces to war. We are looking at that time now. Yes, more advanced, more deadly, more devastating, but we are looking at war on the horizon. And I want each and every one of you who watch my videos, who understand that this is perilous times, stay close to your family, stay close to your friends, and most importantly, grab on to Jesus and hold on, because it's going to be a very bumpy ride ahead. And the only way you're going to get through this is to think outside of what the governments are telling you to think. Prepare for the worst. Be happy when it doesn't happen. So, I love Patera. She does an absolutely awesome job of showing you the homestead life. I love Angry Prepper. He does an absolutely fantastic job of putting news from in the city in front of you so that you know what's going on in New York. You know what some of the vibes are in that area. I absolutely love Doug and Stacy, who give you an absolutely different type of way to look at things. They are totally off grid. They've been off grid for years, and they have a lot of knowledge in that atmosphere. I live in suburbia. I think a lot of people live in suburbia. And in order to survive in suburbia, if things go south, you have to be prepared for the worst. Now, most of us will probably only see electricity disruptions, maybe some food disruptions, water disruptions. If you prepare for that, then when it comes along, you've got it in your bank ready to go. So my pantry is a revolving pantry. I constantly eat the food that I just showed you. I'm constantly pulling out and restocking that. And it's took me years to get to that point. And like I said, I have more that I'm not going to show you. Okay? Learn how to preserve your food. Learn how to grow food. Learn how to hunt, how to fish. If you can't hunt and you don't want to hunt, learn how to fish. Learn how to grow. Don't let your obstacles that you have in your life stop you from preparing for the future. Now, this also means your finances. Now, for me, my finances are a total wreck. This is something that I have been one of those people, and I'll be the first to admit, that I have not addressed. And now I'm addressing it. And I'm having to make tough choices on things to cut. And so I'm cutting things. And it's a very difficult decision for me, because I know by cutting certain things, I'm also going to be cutting certain people out of my life. And that is hard for me, because I tend to, once I get attached to people, I stay attached to people. I don't like to let people go out of my life. And to know that some of the choices I've got to make means I'm going to have to cut certain individuals out hurts. It's not easy. But it needs to be done. And, it's not easy building a pantry. It's not easy. It's never easy. You have to make sacrifices in order to move forward. And this is one of the things that we have to do now. And you have to realize this now, that the way life was 10 years ago is not coming back. I don't know if anyone's told you that, but the good times we had 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that's never coming back. It will not come back. The world has shifted. And we, as a people, have to shift with it. But in order to survive that shifting, you need to have your food, your resources, your things that you use on a daily basis. Get 2 or 3 of them. If you wear boots, get another pair. If you wear jeans, grab a couple extra pair. If you can't afford to buy them brand new, go to the thrift store. I know they're expensive. Lord of mercy, even the prices at thrift stores are off the chain. But think about what you use in a week And I'm going to leave you with this. This is a mantra that pretty much every prepper out there will agree with, right? That is, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. What that means is if you have one item and it breaks, you have nothing. But if you have 2 items and one breaks, you still have 1. So when you go to the store and you buy, let's say you buy a can of spaghetti sauce, buy 2. Well, I don't need 2. No, you don't. But put 1 on the shelf. That way, when you come into a situation like I had come into in the last 3 months, where something on your vehicle breaks, you don't have to put money out for food. You can go straight to your pantry. There it is. So you can live off your pantry for a certain amount of time while you're getting over whatever has just happened in your life, whether it be a mechanical failure, whether it be a death in the family, whether it be a job loss, okay? You at least have food that you can have on your shelves ready to use. Now, like I said, my finances suck. And that's something I have to address now, because I'm to that point now where everything else is ready to go except for my finances. So now my finances are being addressed. And probably I should have done this 2 or 3 years ago, but here we are. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. So you need to look at this. You need to have a stockpile of cash, and you need to have money on hand for when things go south. And just to be honest with you, in the last 3 months, I've put close to $5,000 into my vehicle. That's why my finances are the shit right now. Okay? New brakes, new bearings, new tires. The list goes on to keep my vehicle in top shape. These are things that needs to happen. You need to think ahead, and you need to really get your mind set and really think about where this country is going. Because the way it's going, we're looking at war coming onto our home soil, whether it be from foreign attackers or inside attackers or civil war. War is coming. And you need to get your stuff in order. Just like I'm trying to get my stuff in order, you need to get your stuff in order. I can't help everyone. I can only help those who are around me. And that's what your focus should be. Your focus should be on you and your family and the people around you, your community. Not on sending money to people you do not know, who claim that they are going to go do this political move or that political move, and all they're doing is scamming you out of your money. Or they're selling you this item or that item because, oh yeah, you need it. And they sound good. They do sound good. They're very convincing. But they have not a care in the world about you. They don't give a damn about you. What they care about is their pocket. That's what they care about. And that's the reality. I'm not like that, but there are people out here in the prepper community who are. So, watch the videos, listen to the information they give you, do your own research. Absolutely do your own research. No one taught me how to can. I learned that on my own. I learned that from watching Rose Red Homestead. I learned it from watching Homestead Heart. I learned it from watching several channels online. And then I went and picked up a book and started studying. Until you make that step to start doing something to improve yourself and your situation, you will always be the victim. You will always be the victim because you're not taking responsibility for you. So that's what I had to say for you today. And I'm sorry this video is a little bit late. It'll probably get up late because it's gonna take a while for it to upload. But with everything that's going on, especially with this fake convoy down there to the border and them scamming people for money, and all the retaliation that's going on worldwide, I really do believe that war is coming here, and we need to prepare. And so that was my whole context of this message today. Get yourself together. Face the reality. Life is not going back the way it was. We are in a new paradigm, and this is what you need to face. So that's all I had for you today. Bicycle!